So this is part 2 of my coloring of my new unboxing and review art of Scary Fear. So now I'm doing some of the foreground elements. We've got this headset here, which looks a lot like the headset that I actually have. Except that I painted it white with blue. And you'll get to see me change my mind about colors and things and placement of objects in this video quite a bit. So we're going to spend most of the video seeing how this headset is colored because I use the same techniques on pretty much everything else. So now we've got the flat colors are laid down, and now I'm marking off the areas that I want to shade. And I usually pick a darker color of the flat color. These layers are on top, so the actual flat colors aren't being colored over. If I make a mistake, I can delete it or remove it. One thing very important when I'm coloring that I have to keep in mind, and this took me years to get used to, is lighting, and always having it in my mind where the light source is coming from. In this case, I have chosen that the light source is coming from overhead, and that was a neat thing right there. I colored everything the color of the shade on the white, but I still manually went in and colored the blue so it didn't look so disgusting. But if you can master light and dark, I think that that's when your artwork will really improve. It did for me, and I've been coloring for years, and I didn't get this until maybe like 5 years ago or so. It also helped that I had a really good artist friend that I could call on the phone and he would give me advice, or I would show him when I was getting stuck on stuff. Okay, what's going on now is that I'm doing what's called gradient shading. The regular, what's called cell shading, which was all the nice sharp angles, which I really like that look, and technically you can stop there if you want. But now I'm adding a gradient over those shadows, and it just gives it a more professional look, I think. Okay, so now we're adding texture to the headset ear cushions. These little pads are so soft. I love squishing them in real life. But yeah, just all that is just light and dark again in placement, and it makes it look like you've got a cushion. And now that you've got a shine on a plastic edge. Ah, and there we go. I've colored all the lines, but some of the lines are wrong. Like, yes, these need to be a dark blue, and where the white touches, it needs to be a dark gray. We need blue here, so I fixed that. And it's done! Headsets are shaded, and lines are colored. And if you notice, now we're onto the little dinosaur. And it looks different than in the previous video. I have fixed the legs. Before, it looked to me like he only had 2 legs, and I don't know how he was balancing with just 2 legs. Now you can see all 4 legs, and he looks more solid and dimensional. Now I hand drew in these shades, and I did not like how this looked. I thought light might be coming through his legs underneath, and it just looked bad. So even if you've been doing this for years and you understand the concept of light and dark, you might not know what to do, like in that case. You still, no matter how long you've been doing this, you're gonna have to figure things out. But I think I finally got it. Looking at this now, though, there is a change I am going to make with this probably tomorrow when I work on it again. There's something I don't like. But he's better. Okay, now what we're doing is I made a grid pattern, and I copied it and doubled it, and now I copied it and put it on top again, and I have to line it up just right. Now the reason was originally I was thinking of making this table a wood grain, but then I decided that no, I'm gonna make my art table that I have in my room, cause Fear is me after all. He's a representation of myself. And my art table is pink and has yellow grid lines, so that's what I'm gonna make. So yeah, Fear is reviewing. He's got my headsets and he's at my art table. I wish I had those Nepenthes in real life. And my birds are always talking and saying commentary in the background. If you guys would like, I might put some subtitles for Minion. Okay, so now Scary Fear is back. We're done with our foreground elements, and I'm working on the background. And though I was trying to figure out which pink and purple combination to make, I ended up going with the original one I had, which was like a lavender and a hot pink. But I changed this later on because of one major factor. And I'll talk about that when you see what that is. Alright, we've got the flat colors. And with him, we're not going to do any shading in this video. We're just going to do his flats. This is actually just over an hour's worth of work over about 2 days. So we'll do the shading in another video. Okay, so there's all his flat colors. Coloring his ivory teeth. And as you're going to see here, Fear actually has a green mouth on the inside that glows. So that's pretty cool. It doesn't get darker when he speaks and you look in his mouth. It gets brighter. Okay, so the background, I changed it to purple and orange. And I might flip it, might do it orange to purple because Fear has a pink glow that emanates from his eyes. And with that purple background back there, I don't think you're going to be able to see it. I'll experiment and then I'll find out. And if not, I may have to reverse these colors and find out if that'll even look good. So I don't know yet. Okay, we're adding the flat colors to his eyebrows now, and I'm going in with an eraser. This is really quick time lapse, and I'm just erasing where the points are and adding in on his gray colors the really sharp edges where things come to a point, like on his nose and on his nails. The select tool can't reach that, so I have to manually color in or you end up with white spots, which look terrible. And I had to decide here whether I wanted the shadow to... I had to manually remove the shadow, and then I decided to add it back later on because I realized that that was the palm of his hand through his fingers. You would see it, but the box would cover the rest of it. So now the box is colored, and here it is. I'm coloring the palm. This is behind his fingers. Alright, so there we go. So foreground elements were colored, and Fear is done as far as his flat colors. Alright, I should have another video up soon just on the shading. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed that. Des, signing off.